Welcome to Steve's Hydroponics.
The widespread negative effects of climate change are causing severe drought conditions, as well as serious flooding, adding to the uncertainty of reliable food production in regions of the world which, historically, were relatively unaffected. This is particularly so in many areas of the developing world. In addition, food production has wide-ranging impacts on the quality of ecosystems and can be enormously destructive, causing soil erosion, land degradation, salinization, and loss of habitat and biodiversity. Water availability, quality and price have become central issues for many nations and their governments as the world adjusts to water supply uncertainties. The primary factors contributing to these uncertainties are the dramatic effects from climate change and increasing pollution of rivers and groundwater systems caused by growing urbanization, industry and agriculture. Increasingly, governments are involving private sector participation in water production, desalination and supply. Inevitably, to drive more efficient use and conservation of water, its price is expected to increase. The transportation of food and produce contributes substantially to energy consumption, air pollution and carbon emission. In the United States, food typically travels 1,500 miles from farm to fork. Transportation over long distances increases susceptibility for contamination and loss of nutrients. A&B Hydroponics International is a world leader in the design and implementation of hydroponic growing systems and has solutions for many of these problems. It believes that the capability to reliably and economically produce high-quality food for both human and animal consumption on a sustainable basis will meet an increasing worldwide demand for nutritionally enhanced, localized food production. A&B Hydroponics can assist in localizing the production and the sale of vegetables and animal feedstocks utilizing proven static and automated reticulated growing systems, which are inherently more efficient in terms of water, energy, yield and land utilization. A&B Hydroponics is a company with extensive experience in hydroponic growing in Australia and other parts of the world. Its director, Joe Agius, founded the company in 1986, following a successful 25-year personal experience in growing fruit and vegetables. His innovative designs have transformed hydroponic growing. Joe Agius is assisted in the company by Warren Boston, a lawyer by background, who brings managerial and professional skills and experience to the company. The company in recent times has concentrated on designing growing systems for countries where there are extremes of climate, scarce water supplies or salinity and poor soil conditions. The world's first hydroponic rotating growing system, or RGS, was developed by A&B Hydroponics, initially to produce crops such as strawberries in a more economical and cost-effective method than previously used. The proven technology produces substantially more kilograms of crop per square metre than traditional in-ground methods and can be used for growing other crops such as lettuce, mushrooms, fodder and herbs. The RGS was patented to protect the technology and in 2001 featured in the Australian Technology Showcase on the recommendation of the New South Wales Innovation Council. The RGS rotates slowly and consistently to enable plants to receive uniform exposure to sunlight and air and to produce consistent yields, all within a controlled environment. The company has also developed sophisticated, fully environmentally controlled pesticide-free greenhouses for extreme conditions. These, together with proprietary static and automated rotating growing systems, RGS, and hydroponic solutions, provide the efficient production of vegetables for human consumption and fodder for animal consumption. The systems don't need large areas of ground nor arable land and can be installed where the market is for the produce, thereby negating the costly freight charges required by traditional growing. A&B Hydroponics can install its hydroponic tunnel greenhouse system anywhere there is access to water and in any configuration, from as few as 5 tunnels to a complete food park, enabling supply to local markets or sufficient to export. A large-scale RGS was installed in Abu Dhabi by A&B Hydroponics in 2004 and is still operating successfully to this day, producing a variety of lettuce for the local market. A&B Hydroponics supports its growing system by a high level of after-sales service, effective growing solutions for different crop varieties, and the ability to respond to rapidly changing markets. For example, it's a relatively simple matter to switch from fodder production using an RGS system to the growing of mushrooms. Current projects include proposals for the UAE, Indonesia, Thailand, Malaysia, Algeria, Fiji, and India, as well as a major fodder project in Australia, providing a fodder system for a 6,000 cow dairy, which will produce 120,000 kilos of green fodder a day. The consortium behind that dairy project intends establishing similar facilities in other parts of Australia and in various other countries. The quality of produce grown in the Middle East must improve so that farmers can achieve a better return and compete with imported product. Because of the extremes of climate and poor soil conditions, farmers need to be innovative and look to modern farming techniques. Hydroponic food production has many benefits, including the ability to produce quality produce consistently, greater yield return per square metre, smaller greenhouses resulting in construction savings, saving on running costs, far less labour costs, pesticide-free products, nutritionally superior products, clean production. Greenhouses can be installed on non-arable land or in semi-urban areas and therefore closer to the market. Requirement for land is less than 10% of traditional farm footprint. Reduced water and energy costs and carbon emissions. No weeds to eradicate. Hydroponic plants are healthier and mature earlier. Elimination of the variable effect of weather conditions. Semi-automatic production options. The systems are easy to maintain, and the systems allow for greater control and more effective management of the processes and therefore negligible crop loss. As already stated, using A&B hydroponics growing systems achieves substantially more yield per square metre. For example, in the case of iceberg lettuce, the average yield per square metre for traditional growing is 72 kilograms, whilst the average yield hydroponically is 386 kilograms, a 436% increase. In the case of tomatoes, in traditional farming, the yield averages 45 kilograms per square metre, but we can achieve 168 kilograms per square metre in our systems, a 273% increase. All of this is achieved with 100% pesticide-free farming. It makes sense to start working now to maximise the opportunities and minimise the threats. This means investing in research and development to help agriculture adapt to climate change, investing more in water use efficiency so that farmers can do more with less, and developing systems which can be installed on non-arable land. A&B Hydroponics has been making that investment successfully, which is evident in its latest designs. Retail outlets in the Middle East and other countries have to import produce from Holland, Australia, the United States and other countries in order to offer first quality produce to its customers. The cost of importation, particularly in 2007 and 2008, with the increase in fuel costs, has meant that the imported first quality produce is markedly more expensive than local produce. The appeal that locally grown hydroponic produce will have to retailers, restaurants, the processed food industry, hotel chains and fast food outlets is obvious. They will be able to supply first quality produce with the branding of grown in the Middle East. A major cost of feeding animals in the Middle East is the cost of transporting the fodder from the different countries which produce it. The world has seen the cost of fodder for animals increasing exponentially over the last few years, primarily because of drought conditions in the usual fodder-producing countries such as Australia. The cost of dry fodder in Australia in 2008 exceeded on occasion $1 per kilo. Conversely, A&B hydroponic systems are capable of producing green fodder at less than 7 cents or 1/14 of that cost. Green fodder fed to animals in the Middle East is sourced from Oman and other countries. Using A&B hydroponics systems, fodder can be produced on site, where the animals are, 365 days a year. The nutritional advantage is enormous, and in the case of dairy cows, both increases the yield and the quality of the milk. A&B Hydroponics can custom design, supply and install its systems for specific sites and specific produce. Everything required to commence production can be supplied and installed. Alternatively, A&B can supply the greenhouses and fodder houses in kit form, together with the hydroponic growing systems, and the customer can arrange for site preparation, concrete slab, power and water to the site. Erection of the greenhouses and fodder houses will be arranged under the supervision of A&B Hydroponics. A&B Hydroponics will train the required number of people in the operation of the systems and provide backup as necessary for the first year or longer if required.
Visit Steve's Hydroponics today at www.steveshydroponics.ca.